Hi, Papa Yeager here with This Day in History. March 25th, 1911. It was the Triangle Shirtwaist Company factory fire. 146 young women, most of whom were in their teenagers, most of whom were immigrants, were killed in this fire. There are many reasons for this, most of which are attributed to the fact that the owners of the factory, Blank and Harris, just didn't care about their workers. They cared mostly about money. The women that were hired were crammed into tight workspaces. It was a sweatshop. There were 4 elevators, but only one of them was fully functioning. There were two staircases, but one of the staircases was barred because the door to the outside was locked. This was to prevent theft. Also, Blank and Harris had a history of wanting to collect insurance money. So in prior years, they had burnt their factories, not when people were there. It was an off hours, but they still had a history of doing this. So they didn't install any sprinkler systems or anything to prevent the fires because they used fire as a way to collect insurance. When the fire broke out, one of the floor managers tried to put it out with a fire hose, but it didn't work. It was broken. Women tried to escape down the stairs, and if they chose the wrong stairwell, they were killed in the fire. The elevator only was able to take like 4 trips, and then it stopped working. Women feeling desperate, started to jump down the well of the elevator. Other women started to jump out of the windows. Blank and Harris were in the building at the time, but they crawled up onto the roof, managed to get to the roof of another building, and survived. They were brought up on charges of manslaughter, but they got off. They didn't pay at all for the fact that they were responsible for these deaths. After the fire, however, New York finally enacted reform. They realized this just couldn't keep going on. Unfortunately, this is an example of what happens when you live in a capitalistic society. Money matters more than people. And businesses will exploit whomever they can in order to make a profit. The women at the Triangle Shirtwaist factory worked 12 hours a day, and they only got paid like $15 a week. They were completely taken advantage of. It's just a realization that capitalism is great for those who have money. It's great for those who continue to make money. But for the rest of us, it's not always a fabulous thing. Anyway, that's This Day in History, March 25th, 1911, the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire that killed 146 women.